Good morning. This is Betty Latanya Wise, and I'm targeted in Plano, Texas. Um, so last video that I did for you guys, it was Halloween, and I did a video because I just felt the need to pray and to sing church music. So I got on here, prayed, did church music, sung a little bit, um, and my son, he gets off of work. So I needed to go pick my son up, and my car broke down. So I don't have anyone to help me out here. I'm like out here with my kids, like I have no one. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, my car broke down in the middle of the street. So now I'm like, oh my goodness, what do I do? It's like late at night. It's dark where I'm at. So, um, and plus I don't have the paperwork for the vehicle. When I brought the vehicle, I brought it when I was in California, and they were targeting me so bad. So I had left Nevada. From Nevada, my car got totaled. You know how they get you in car wrecks or whatever the situation is. So I got in a car wreck in um, Nevada. I went to go stay in California for a couple days with a relative, and I waited for the money to come from the car wreck so they could replace my car. And it was like I just got anything I could get so that I could go like to the next location, because I was like, I got poisoned. Right after I got poisoned, I got into a car wreck. Right after I got into a car wreck, I had to go stay. I had to move my stuff like middle of the night type of thing, where I left like mostly all my stuff, just grabbed my kids, left, um, waited for this money to come. The money came. It took a couple weeks for the money to come, a couple days to a couple weeks for the money to come, probably a couple weeks. The money came. After the money came, I just brought like the first thing I can get my hands on. But I know the guy said the title was salvage, but I really didn't know what a salvage title meant or nothing like that. So I was like, when I get where I'm going, I'll go to DMV or wherever I'll go. But when I got to where I was going, they were like, they can't really do nothing with a salvage title. So when I was in, since I've been out here in Texas, I had gotten pulled over because the license plate had expired. And so the lady was like, the cop, she was like, okay, well, you need to get a new vehicle. This is salvaged, it's a salvage vehicle, blah, blah, blah. It's unsafe. But the whole time she's talking, telling me this, asking me for my information and stuff, she never brings me back the title, the registration. Like, she never brings me back the registration, the title. She never returns it back to me. So I never received it back. So me and my daughter were like, that's odd that she never gave it back. So, I'm like, that's part of the gang stalking or whatever, right? Because why would you keep someone's title and pink slip? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I just would drive the vehicle just to, the vehicle honestly lasts a good 2 years. So just driving the vehicle just to get food and kids from school dropping off and probably doctor's appointments. Like I said, I have been trying to heal from being injured by I guess it would be called a honeypot or a guy honeypot or whatever it's called, which was an X that was very dangerous, a counterfeit. Um, so, you know, I knew better than to go out on Halloween. Like, I knew it. But I went out anyway, car broke down. By the time I can walk to go get my son from work or whatever, there were already cops, like 3 different cops behind the vehicle. And I was like, I still have like my wallets in there, like all my stuff is in there, basically. But I'm just like walking fast and like, because I'm not trying to interact with them. Like, I know they're evil. They know I know they're evil. So why try to hold any conversation, unnecessary conversation? Yes, God's protecting me, but if an evil spirit is controlling someone and they have evil intent, that's not a good deal. Like, that's not, if you could avoid them at all costs, that's the best thing to do. Sometimes you can't avoid them, but I was like, I might as well just, pray over the items that were in the vehicle, pray to God. I mean, I knew that Halloween wasn't my best bet out anyway, but my child, I didn't even send them to school on Halloween. That's how much I despise Halloween because I know it's evil. Um, but, he wanted to go to work. And I kept telling him, no, well, don't go tonight. You don't need to go. But, he wants to get that money, because we're targeted. And so by being targeted, it's hard to work. It's hard to get money. Um, we're targeted. It's not like, we're being prosecuted, oppressed. So it's not, it's hard. It's very hard. Um, I haven't really had a real job in a while. And I was trying to do the little whole DoorDash thing, but then that didn't work out because they needed a different photo and they needed this and needed that. So that really didn't work out how I needed it to. And so I'm not mentally or physically or emotionally stable enough to go work in a job environment type of place because it's too heavy. The amount of stuff I've been through is not normal. Um, it's not normal. It's not normal, and I don't wish it on no one. And so, but I knew better, and that's kind of what happened. So now we're out without a vehicle. But the up thing about being without a vehicle is that being without a vehicle is kind of good in a way because I have to walk now. So I'm getting more clarity. It's always good to get out, get you a fresh walk. You can think better. You just breathe in the fresh air. You feel better. You have more energy just walking, getting fresh air. Like I said, I was in sorrow and fear. So you're in sorrow and fear, like you don't want to walk, you don't want to do nothing, you don't want to talk to nobody, you don't want to go nowhere, you know, and your body what is tense, it hurts, like you're not taking the best care of yourself because you're not living. Life is to be lived. You have to live life. You know, Going through that with the counterfeit, it felt like an actual death. It was horrible. I was in a dark area. I was in hell. I guess I was in hell. Honestly, I was in hell. Um, it felt like hell. Um, it was horrible. Um, he stole a lot of things from me spiritually, physically. It was a battle. He definitely won that battle. And it was bad that he won that battle. I have fought all the way up to that point. I had did what I thought I could do, up to that point. And, once you let the devil in or play with the devil, he's in there. And the only thing that's going to stop that is the grace of God, the mercy of God. Is the only one that can break covenants, soul ties, strongholds, uh, add years to your life, save your life, protect you. God is the only one that can battle the devil. Like, he's the only one. So the best thing to do is to not backslide, not be disobedient. Put God first in everything you do. Pray. Let God handle it. I've been wrestling with a lot, because it's like when you fell in a pit or you walked yourself into a pit or you allow someone to drag you back into a pit or fall into a pit. Um, and then God wants to heal and deliver you and all these things. You have to still be obedient. At all times, you have to be obedient. And when you're not, you have to ask God to get those get those powers off of you. And, the hardest thing though is allowing him to work. When is he going to work? You said you're going to do this, you said you're going to do that, but nothing's changing. Nothing is happening. And a lot of things might not be changing and happening is because I'm not holding my end up. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. My mouth is still really filthy. I'm saying and speaking certain things that I shouldn't be saying or speaking. I'm watching and doing certain things I shouldn't be. So you got to check yourself sometimes when things don't go into order or plan or certain things don't happen, but they're going to happen or they're supposed to happen. Or see, God is not a liar. If he promises you something, he's going to give it to you. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Just like this whole thing is like wild. Um, all of it. So like I've been staying like I've been in like this Section 8 housing, and the Section 8 housing is horrible where we stay at and reside in. You know, I don't see how they were allowed to rent this place out to anyone, um, or anything like that. Like, I don't know, but they rented me this horrible place out. I have my kids and all this stuff, and like, it just is a lot. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, it's a lot. And it's like my life was okay at first. I was working and I was getting paid like $1,000 a week. It's not like a whole bunch of money, but it was enough money for me and my kids like to survive. And then I let an ex back in, and once I let that ex back into my life, it like turned everything so messed up that I had to. He left me for dead. I mean, he left me for dead. That when I left Reno, Nevada, went to California for those I want to say maybe a week to 2 weeks till I got the insurance money for my car being totaled. So when I drove here to Texas, it took me literally 5 days because my body was so messed up from all the poison that it was I couldn't sit up and drive long. Maybe 3 to 4 hours, if that. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm kind of at. You know, um, trying to heal, and now I have autoimmune disease. I never had autoimmune disease, but when you're dealing with the devil or an agent for the devil, that's disguised like they care and they love you, and it's really someone sent from the pits of hell to destroy you. They're poisoning you. They're doing all kind of evil stuff upon you to hinder you. Um, Hashimoto's is a disease, but if you look up where Hashimoto's comes from, like I've been gaining so much weight from this whatever's going on, but the autoimmune disease. But if you look up Hashimoto's, it's like chemicals. Like you get it from so many different things, but it's usually like a chemical. Um, but yeah, it's just a lot. And I want to say something about like meeting people online, like meeting people on YouTube, because you got to think if you're a targeted individual, female, male, you're lonely. It's like it's lonely, you're bored, you're lonely. Um, you don't have many friends. You don't, your family members, the couple family members you do have, you really can't like trust them a lot. Like not trust them a lot, but maybe trust them a lot, right? Even if you do trust the few family members that you have, they don't 100% understand what it is that you're going through. So your conversations are really kind of different. So in order to have a conversation with a family member or to keep a family member and have a conversation with them, you have to discuss gossip, worldly things. Because once you start talking about gang stalking all the time, they're not really they might understand to a degree, but they're not really on that level. So it's like you're gonna bore them out by every time you talk to them, you're talking about your gang stalking, or I went here and this person followed me. I noticed this happened, or this, that. So it's a lot, like just even trying to keep anybody. But when you meet people like YouTube now, from being a targeted individual, now I know it's like a dating thing. Now I know like it's a dating thing, but now it's predators on here. So it's like, I mean, the devil's gonna mock everything that God does. Everything that God's children do, the devil is already mocking it with his children. So it's like you have to like use discernment, and it's a lot. And it's hard with your discernment. If you have been hurt and you're angry and you're bitter. And, I'm hurt, angry, bitter. So I have to ask God to take these things off of me so then I could see things clearly. Even though my vehicle is gone, it's like, okay, I got out and walked this morning. Instead of just sending the kids to school, I really got out, got some fresh air, walked, all of my kids to school, walked back. And it's like, okay, well, I feel a lot better. I feel clearer. I feel, a little bit of energy, feel a little bit better. So, kind of it feels better not to have the vehicle than to have the vehicle. Not saying I don't need the vehicle. Of course I need the vehicle because I get, take more things, bring and take more things. But, it is what it is. So now I'm trying to get a lawsuit against housing, trying to bring up a lawsuit against Section 8 because I'd gone on Section 8 at some point thinking, but see, that was just another ploy from the enemy because they allowed me to get on Section 8 while I was going through all this stuff. So it's like, oh yeah, we'll give you a voucher. You can go anywhere in the world with this voucher, And it's like, okay, well, it was COVID, so they were giving out vouchers. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to get one because, it's COVID and we're going through something. But no, it was like anything government assistant is going to be, the government's going to have his hands in it. I'm pretty sure they're watching me. Before I even moved into this raggedy home and knew what was wrong with the place, the home looked decent. It looked decent enough to like, okay, it's a 4-bedroom house. Okay, cool. But then as I start staying here, after a while, stuff start falling all apart. The blinds start falling all apart. I start seeing water damage. The house start leaking everywhere. And so they fixed it like twice, the leaks. So I'm like, okay. But this time, I'm going to show you guys. I should show you guys on my phone. But the leak is so bad and so gross that I put something under there to see the water that's coming out. And the water that is coming out of the leak is black, like horrible black. So I had to think like, that's why me and my kids have been getting so sick, like ill all the time, is because they've been poisoning the water system. Because the water that's coming out the sink, we've been drinking it, eating, cooking, taking showers. Yeah, the pipes are all dirty and nasty and gross. Like, it's poison. It's a targeted house. Like, it's crazy. Then I try to get because I got injured in the car accident that I was in. So I'm waiting on, a little bit of money, but you got to think this stuff is set up so weird that even if you get a lawsuit from anything that these people have done, they're taking mostly all your money. Because you got to think, I had to pay an attorney just to get me some money from being injured. So if the attorney is taking 33%, and the lawsuit money ain't even that much, and then I had to pay, medical insurance back because I wasn't coming out of pocket for the pay. So that leaves enough for not much. It's like anything to keep you down, anything to keep you without, is what this program is. The poisoning, the harassment, the stalking, the betrayal, the envy, the jealousy, the hate. It's like, it makes no sense. Like, I'm not perfect. Have I hurt people in my lifetime? Of course. Have I said some things or did some things that have been a lot out of line? Of course. But did it deserve this? No. No. Not at all. Not at all. It's like, I've been going through so much. It just like has literally broken me down where I don't even want to get dressed up no more. I don't want to go nowhere. Like, comb my hair, and I love wearing braids in my hair, but I mean, after after I've had a guy beat me so bad in my face. This tooth right here, he knocked this tooth, it's been out the socket, the tooth. He knocked out the socket. And when he knocked it out the socket, I got a huge cut in my lip. I got surgery in my face from being beat so bad in my face. Tooth knocked out of socket. All the poison disintegrating my teeth. A lot. Illegally, they pulled out some teeth. Went to one dentist. He was like, "Oh, we need to pull out those teeth, and we can get you this and this." And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, we can do it tomorrow." And I'm thinking like, "Okay, that's fine," because my regular dentist was out. I had a regular dentist, but he was not in. So they said, "Oh, you got to see this dentist." I was like, "Okay." So when I went to see that dentist, the dentist was like, "Yeah, well, you need to get those teeth pulled in your back. They need to be pulled out." And I was like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, and we'll just get you a partial, whatever, to go back there." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess." My dentist never said nothing about that, but okay, that's fine. So my stupid butt went the next day, let them take the teeth out. It was 6 teeth. This is how evil this stuff is. It was 6 teeth they pulled out of my teeth, out of my mouth. Um, then you know how like they have you come back, next couple of weeks or whatever. So when I went back the next couple of weeks, my regular dentist was there, and he was like, "Why did they pull your teeth out of your mouth? Those were good teeth. The bases of those teeth were good. Like, I'm not understanding why they pulled them out. I'm not understanding why you allowed them to pull your teeth out your mouth." Like, he's like, "This don't make no sense here." And I tell you not, after that dentist was never there again. They had moved that dentist. Every time I go to a dentist, doctor, any type of person that deals with me, I might see that person a couple times, and then they're moved. Like, they have moved. They no longer work there any longer. They're not seeing any patients at the location. It's like all synced together. It all works together. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. But yeah, what I want to say about the YouTube thing, like meeting people off of YouTube, you gotta be careful. These people is like agents. Like, they're looking for, and it's sad because they're like being predators on. Majority of real targeted individuals have been abused and used. I've been abused majority of my life, right? I've been abused. I've been abused by my mother. I've been abused by every boyfriend I was with, every husband I married, every family member I had. I was abused, except for my grandmother. I was abused. So, and what gang stalking is? What? Abusing someone. When you stalk and harass someone and poison them, that's abuse. That's weird. That's weirdo shit. That's abusing, being abusive. And then they know that we're being abused, and they know that we're lonely too, and they know that we've been abused. And we do these YouTube channels, and we're talking about what's happening, and they're taking notes and discerning everything. And then they're sending guys that work for the devil to approach you and deal with you. And I don't have time to really, I've been through so much that my discernment has really have been off from all the stuff that I've gone through. So it's hard for me to know if someone's helping me or want to be nice to me out the genuine kindness of their heart, or if they're just acting and out to use me or to just inflict more pain and abuse onto me. I'm not trying to, I never said that I'm the baddest. I never said that I'm this, I'm that. None of that. I'm not trying to like be nothing I'm not, or try to be better than anyone I'm not, or none of that. I want to get past what I can get past. It was just a setup. All this has been a setup, and they used. And that's probably my weakness, because I have to be honest with myself. Even though my mom did a lot of damage, because I'm looking at the people that were close to me. So my mom did a lot of damage. Family members kind of threw salt, but I always felt like I need to be in a relationship. Like, I need a boyfriend. I need to get married. Like, because I always, since I've been a little girl, I always wanted to get married and have my 2 kids and, picket fence and a dog. And, we both work, and I have a Lamborghini. I wanted twin kids, and I have a Lamborghini. And, all this stuff is in my head. When I was young, I used to play that game. I think, is it called MASH? MASH? A mansion, apartment, shack, or a house. I remember playing that game like a long time ago. And I remember, like, I'm going to get married, and I'm going to have a mansion, and, um, all this stuff. Like, I'm going to have my car was a Lamborghini. A Lamborghini. And it was crazy because my dream car was a yellow Lamborghini. I don't know why I liked a yellow, but when I was a kid, it was like a yellow Lamborghini. And I'm going to have a dog. And so that's what I used to that's all, just I would go off of that all the time. And now that I'm an adult, it's like every guy I dated, it was like a fail. It was like I put more into the relationship than the guy. But even if there was a guy that came along that was healthy for me, like working, had his own vehicle, maybe had his own apartment or place, didn't drink, didn't smoke, that guy made me nervous. Because I was like, I was a big drinker. I was alcoholic when I was young. So, like all my family functions, we'd have alcohol and drinks. And, that was common at our family functions. And so I just happened to be the one that liked to drink too. And so when a guy like would take me out to eat or do something, it would be like, oh, this is your second drink already. Like, why are you drinking? Like, why do you drink? And it was like, okay, I don't want to date him. Like, he's. So it's easier for me to just go date a hood dude, you know? But no, hood dudes weren't for me. Like, I need a nerd. Like, I don't really need a nerd, but I need a kingdom spouse, like a guy that is planted in the Lord, like a guy that can uplift me, not bring me down or belittle me, or. But now it's like, whether, after everything's said and done, I end up with a kingdom spouse, or I don't end up with a spouse. Like, God has been the truth. Jesus Christ is the truth. God is the truth. The Holy Spirit is the truth. Um, you know, that's where I'm at with that. And yeah, I'm gonna slowly try to come make videos and talk. I just be kind of just all over the place. It's just, I don't know. Just my targeting was huge, and I failed. I let the enemy work me, work me through a guy. And the enemy at some point got me thinking about myself how others viewed me, instead of thinking about myself how God sees me. I started to think about myself how the enemy sees me. And that hurt me a lot. That I was up here, then I fell like boom. I was climbing this hill, just climbing. And then tripped, fell, slipped, bam. When you hit hard, because being disobedient, you don't listen to God, you hit hard, it hurt. It hurts. And then what do you have to do? You have no choice but to go back to God and plead and beg and confess your sins, repent, and ask God to help you and to cancel whatever agreement you made with the enemy, knowingly or unknowingly. That's all you can do. Nothing else you could do. What's gonna be is what's gonna be. What God gonna do, He gonna do what He. It's His thing. It's His show. So I just made this video just to let other people know, like, just be aware of who you meet, and just be aware of the enemy. Also be aware and know that God is the truth. Like, He's stronger than the devil. The devil really can't do anything unless God allows him to. And you just got to find yourself and find peace. And yeah, it sucks that we're alone and lonely, but just kind of is what it is. Is what it is. And but I'll tell you one thing: betrayal is like one of the hardest things to go through. My betrayal was hard, and I'm not taking that for nobody. I don't want to take their targeting away from them, or their pain, or their hurt, or their oppression, or prosecution, or their betrayal. Like, their betrayal was light, or they're going through their targeting wasn't nothing because mine's was this, mine's was that, mine's was that. No. I know a lot of us are hurting and in pain. A lot of us are. A lot of us are in pain and hurting. I mean, look around us. Look at what's happening in the world. Look at everything that's happening. A school in Texas got shot up by a guy that I think he was 17, 19 years old. Shot and killed his grandmother, then went up to the school, killed the 3rd and 4th graders. And it's like, how did that happen when there's trained officers there and it's one gunman there? And the teachers and the students are calling the police, telling them where the man is on the property. So it's just a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, just thought I'd get whatever off my mind. It might have made sense to some people, might have not made sense to anyone else. What I'm talking about, sometimes I don't even know what I'm talking about. I just be talking because there's so much stuff, but yeah, you guys have a blessed day and a good day, and may God bless you and find peace, joy, and happiness.